Welcome back to another episode of the We Grow Together podcast. I'm excited today. We're going to be talking about reflecting on the year that we've had in 2024 and recharging and getting excited for 2025. This is a constant process that I do in my life, especially in lifestyle design. So if you're not familiar, hey, I'm Laura DiFrancesco, founder of Dean Street Law, Flourish Co-working Space, Ethereal Farms, Laura DiFrancesco LLC, and a few other businesses. I love using lifestyle design as a tool for me to grow on a daily basis, monthly, quarterly, and annually. So this is one of my favorite practices that I use in lifestyle design is reflection on the past so that I can prepare for the future. I do have a free 7-day Reset Wild Ambition Lifestyle Design Extravaganza. So if you're interested in going through a process of reflecting, setting intentions, all of that's linked in the show notes. And of course, we have tons of other lifestyle design resources, from our workbook to our workshop to our course, with 50 pages of lifestyle design exercises in the workbook, over 3 hours of exercises in the workshop, and over 100 lessons and over 200 pages of guides in the course. So I hope that it's helpful going through reflecting on 2024 together in this podcast episode. I'm excited. We're going to be talking about the wins, the highs, the lows, how we coped, how we celebrated, and kind of just recapping. I hope that you take the time to do that in your own life as well, whether it be through journaling or meditation or just sitting by the fire thinking. One of my favorite ways to recap is creating little montages, clips from the year, whether they be photos or videos or whatnot. I feel like it's almost like kind of like a little bit of a modern scrapbooking. So that's something that I really like to do to recap, because photos and videos to me are one of the most tangible ways to relive experiences and really ground me and remember what I did and how I felt and how incredible it was and what I want more of in the next year and what I want less of. And I feel like having that tie to memories from photos and videos really helps me to ground and set intentions for the next year. I'm excited to share some of my favorite things that happened this past year, some of the highs, some of the lows. I'm sure if you've been on the journey, you know some of them. But if you haven't, be sure to follow me on social media at Laura M. DiFrancesco. We can go on this journey together this past year and next year. I will say one of my biggest challenges in reflecting over the past year is that it does come with a lot of emotional ups and downs that can be really hard to process. I think sometimes when we're living in our lives, we're going through our day-to-day, it's a lot easier to be resilient. You're going day by day, surviving, trying to thrive, thriving, going back to surviving, and just living in the cyclicality of it all. When you go back and reflect, it can be very emotional going through what happened. I'm here for you if you need it. I was trying to create some recap posts in January for 2023, and I never finished because it was emotionally so difficult for me to recap 2023. And there was a lot of loss in 2023. We rescued a cow who only lived a couple months because he had a birth defect that we didn't know about, Moose, who was just literally the light of our life. So sweet. And in the fall, we lost Bear. Bear has been my best friend and golden retriever for 14 years. He lived a good long life and had a beautiful life. We went through college together. We went through law school, Big Law, living in Westchester, buying a farm. Gosh, we went through so much life together. So much life together. It's making me tear up just thinking about it. And so I was trying to recap 2023 and I just didn't know what to say. And I didn't know what to say because sometimes when we're reflecting on what we've gone through in life, we objectively see the ups and downs, but to try to put words to it, to try to explain our feelings during those moments in life, oh gosh, that just breaks at my heartstrings. It's incredibly challenging to recap our lives when we have such significant ups and downs. And I think in 2023, I think 3 people die in my family. And I also had my dad and my mother-in-law, soon to be mother-in-law, have cancer all at the same time. Or was that this year? Wait, was that this year? I don't know. Concussion mind. I have no idea what years are what. I'm like thinking that that's this year that the 3 people died and the cancer and all that. I'm pretty sure that that was this year. Golly. Anyways, as you can see, it is not easy to look back. I'm not gonna lie. I have had a coping mechanism for hard times in my life that I sometimes just black them out and don't remember and don't think about it and just keep on keeping on. I don't know that that's healthy. It has been just a natural coping mechanism that I've had in life because I think we all have gone through a lot. I know I've gone through a lot in my life. And gosh, it is hard to go through these reflections. It's easy to remember the good stuff. It's hard to remember the bad stuff. And it's harder even still to put words and feelings to the tumultuous experiences that we all go through in life. And I think that when we are trying to do that, sometimes there's this challenge to quite understand that you can go through so much negative aspects of life and still have good moments in between and still have great memories and still have things that you loved that month or that week or that year. I think that's something we have to focus on. And I do think that that helps us in our resilience going through life because, man, oh man, if I just focused on the negative things that happened this year and didn't focus on all the good things that happened this year, I would feel like on the whole the year was awful and I would be drug into those feelings. And on a day-to-day basis, I am happy. I am in pain from the accident. I am tremendously limited in what I'm doing. I'm challenged, but at the same time, I'm still having glimmers of happiness and still having great days and great moments and times where I feel like I'm winning, even though I'm so far back from what I would normally be. So it can be very emotionally challenging. Give yourself grace going through this period of reflection and be honest. It wasn't all good and it wasn't all bad. There was a lot of good and there was a lot of bad. Be honest with yourself. Don't get too stuck in the feelings. Process them, feel the feelings, let them go, but give yourself grace going through the reflection period because I know when I reflect on things, I'm like, oh, geez Louise. Oh, in 2023, I also, in the middle of all that, had a tornado that came through and took down 40 trees, did thousands and thousands of dollars of damage to the farm after we had spent 2 years cleaning it up and making it look so good. 40 trees came down. Oh, that was brutal. It was one thing after another. I feel like this year's been the same. Oh my God. I can't even believe it. Anyways, let's go through, before we go through too much trauma bonding together, let's go through some of what my year was. These are the good parts. I've kind of explained the bad parts. I'm not naturally one to share all the bad things that I'm going through. I try to be transparent as I can be, but I don't talk about my dad going through cancer. I don't talk about my mother-in-law going through cancer. I don't talk about the 3 people who passed away. I don't talk about Bear passing away. I shared it the day of, and it was really sweet. Lisa said something to me on the anniversary, which just made me so happy. But for the most part, I am not very transparent about all the challenges that I go through. I feel like I've been very transparent about the accident because it's hard not to be. I'm in a lot of pain. But for the most part, I try to just kind of keep on keeping on during those times in life. So let's go over the good times. Let good times roll. in January, and I saw this, by the way, from going through my albums in my phone. This isn't everything, but this is part of the reason why I love photos and videos, because looking back on this year, it has felt very heavy. And it has taken photos and videos to remind me there was so many great parts too. So January, Lindsay and I were going snowboarding together a couple times. We both had epic passes. We went locally. That was so much fun. Literally loved it so much. February, I went to an MIT conference. It's on ETA, Entrepreneurship Through Acquisition, my specialization in law. And the funniest thing happened, which is that I coincidentally ran into my roommate from Miss Pennsylvania Teen USA when I was 16. She's coincidentally in investment banking and ETA. And coincidentally, I'm also in that. So wild. We didn't know we would be seeing each other. Absolutely incredible surprise. And then in March, I took a trip to Lake Tahoe with my sisters. Literally any trip with my sisters is so much fun, makes me so happy. It was an amazing time. I forget whether James came. I think James might have come. Maybe not. Maybe not. But it was really fun. And then I had the University of Penn ETA conference. I love going to those conferences. They're a great experience and great networking opportunity as well. And then in April, did lots of outdoor activities, gardening, hiking with mom. In May, I started training. I decided I wanted to compete at Miss Pennsylvania USA. They had changed the eligibility requirements and I was now eligible again. I decided I wanted to compete and I started making an evening gown from scratch to wear at the competition. In June, I went to Newport, Rhode Island for a speaking engagement at Providence, Rhode Island with BETA. And they have a fantastic program. New Majority Capital has a fantastic program to support women and minorities, I think primarily minorities in the ETA space. So I was very glad to be a speaker with them. It was quite an honor. And then I also competed at Miss Pennsylvania USA. That gown that I was making took 20,000 crystals. James put like 30 hours into it. I worked on it with my mom, my Aunt Mary Ellen, Leah, Katie. Just an incredible experience. It was so much fun to build. And then James had to actually break the mannequin to get it off because when we were constructing and debating the construction, I said that I needed a zipper or a way to get in and out of it. And I was using kind of like a spandexy material for the bodice. And everyone's like, no, you can get it up and down. You're fine. Well, 20,000 crystals and glue later, you could not get me in and out. Well, we could not get it off the mannequin. Thankfully, I'm smaller than the mannequin and could still get it on myself. Just squeeze it in there. I could get it on myself, but it was not easy. And so James had to break the mannequin to get it off. Oh my goodness. Good times. And then in July, right after that, my sister moved from Reno, Nevada to home. I'm so happy she's home. And she did a cross-country road trip. And I was on the phone with her at 11:30 or midnight. I was like, wait, you're no one's coming with you on this cross-country road trip? You're going to be driving for days by yourself? Now she's the kind of person that can do that. I am not. I am certifiably not the person that drives multiple days on a road trip or even one day on a road trip solo. I need company if it's like more than a multi-hour drive. At this point, I'm not really allowed to drive long distances because of the concussion, vertigo, all that stuff. We'll catch up on that. So right now I can't drive that way anyways, but she was fine with doing that. And I was like, I'm going to buy a plane ticket. I'm flying out to you 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. I think my flight was at 6 a.m. maybe. So 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and I'm joining you on this road trip. And we went from Idaho to Grand Tetons National Park to Yellowstone, which was so incredibly epic cool. We got lost in Yellowstone. We didn't get lost, but we didn't know that Yellowstone is basically the same size as Delaware. And it took 3 hours to get out of the park. I don't know if that's actually true, but it's the same size. It felt like the same size. And it took 3 hours to get out of the park. It was insane. And then we went to Mount Rushmore, Badlands. We did some natural springs in there and everything. It was just the most incredible, epic cross country road trip ever. Oh, we went to Madison, Wisconsin, right? I think so. And I think we went to Lake Geneva in somewhere too. That was the coolest little town. If you need a place to go, Midwest, so cool. So, so cool. I also all summer did so much cross country schooling, which is when you take your horse outside in hills, fields, and jump over obstacles or through water or whatnot. And it made me so dang happy. I can't even explain to you how happy it made me. And then end of July is our birthdays. So James is the 22nd, mine is July 27th. And we have like a whole birthday week because there's 4 or 5 other birthdays that week in addition to ours. Bear's birthday was July 25th. And so we have a fantastic time for our birthdays. And then August, we had so much fun. We did a tractor supply. Sorry. We did a tractor ride and parade in Oxford, downtown Oxford. That was epic, so cool. There were so many tractors. I don't even know how many tractors. There were so many tractors. It was so incredible. And then we built out Wave on Kennett Square. So in July, I was negotiating Wave on Kennett Square. And then basically the last week of December of 2023, my sisters and I purchased a property in Bryn Mawr. And so we'll get into that later. But we built out Wave on Kennett Square in August. In September, at the end of August, we had the soft opening. And then September, I had my car accident with the horse and horse trailer and everything that we've gone through. And that's obviously been very challenging. And then that literally the next day or a couple days later was the Wave on Kennett Square grand opening. I was like, hi, bye, can't do this. In a lot of pain, don't feel good, but like need to show some sort of face. And then I had a speaking engagement at Southeast ETA conference. I was very, very grateful. My mom dropped everything to join me for it. I'd planned to go solo, but I was still at the beginning stages of understanding what a concussion was doing to me. I'd never had a concussion of this magnitude. I don't even know if I've really had a concussion ever, but I'd never had anything like this. And I was like, Mom, I'm super scared. I can't go alone. Like, I don't know how I'm going to feel. Like, I need help. And so I was very kind of in and out there too. And was so grateful she dropped everything to join me for that. Then I basically canceled everything. Those were like 2 days after the accident when I was not feeling good, but the vertigo and all that hadn't been quite as extreme as it is now. And I basically canceled everything there. I had a speaking engagement though at Southeast ETA conference, which was literally a dream come true. That was at Georgetown University at the business school. I am so beyond honored and had an incredible opportunity to speak there and could not cancel, needed to go, lifetime achievement. So very happy that I did, but it was definitely like a very rocky road, having kind of pre-established commitments that I couldn't back out of, like the grand opening of our business and a speaking engagement at one of the best universities in the country on a topic of which I'm an expert. So couldn't really back out of them, but needed to do them despite the hardships. Very much thankful for my family and friends who supported me because they made my ability to cope and handle what I needed to handle so much more easy and helpful. And then in October, I've basically canceled all of my engagements since then, except for instances where I'm receiving an award. So I was absolutely honored, beyond surprised and shocked, and so happy to be honored with the Mainline Today's Power Women of the Year award. And they featured me in the magazine, a full page spread. Just absolutely astonishing. I had Gina Lizzo, who is the managing editor of Mainline Today, on one of our prior episodes. It'll be linked in the show notes if you want to check it out. She's amazing. Power Women was so cool. I'm just astonished that I was a part of it. just the coolest thing ever, and was awarded that and have a nice little beautiful plaque on the fireplace now. And then October, we had some ups and downs. We had our first eviction. So the property that we bought in Bryn Mawr had tenants. One of them refused to leave, was very combative, very bad. There had to be police called and everything to escort us to speak with her because she was so aggressive and scary and violent and all those things. So that was a weird, sucky situation, but we had to go through our first eviction. I have never done an eviction before as an attorney, so I did like 100-page file for us, did the whole thing, documented everything, had to go through all the procedures. We won the eviction. We're able to finally remove the tenant to be able to then in November start renovating. And unfortunately, the eviction was because she was staying 2 months later than she was supposed to be. She was supposed to move out and wouldn't move out and was very violent about it. So not like I just want to evict people. That's not my vibe. But we did start renovating Bryn Mawr in October. And then in November, I hosted Thanksgiving. I've been hosting Thanksgiving for James's family, which makes my heart so happy. I love hosting. And we also finished the Bryn Mawr renovation and listed it for rent. Everything feels like it's taking so long in the moment. But then when you realize that you did a renovation of 2 whole apartments in basically a month and a half, I'm like, that didn't take that long. I'm pretty proud of us. And during that time, I'm basically an invalid and can't do anything to help, which I was planning on and was supposed to. And instead we had to hire help. So I'm pretty happy with how long it took. We did lose a month and a half to 2 months of rent, obviously, having it off market, but it was well worth the investment. And then in December so far, I was awarded the CREW Commercial Real Estate Women of Philadelphia MVP for our chapter, for our section of our chapter. So that was an incredible honor. I was so proud and I loved being there. I was so grateful. My mom went with me. She attended it with me. We were in and out and she drove the whole thing and helped me because I was very sick with vertigo trying to attend the event. So very, very grateful for Mama Lou for being a real one and helping me out. I've been working on my wedding gown slowly but surely over the last year and a half so that we can have our wedding next year. And then I'm actually about to publish my book this week. I'm so excited. So I will have an episode about that if I haven't published that already. I don't know what order the episodes will come out, but I'm excited for the holidays. I'm excited for wrapping up the year. I've already got my planner for next year. I've already started adding stickers and doing all the things that make me feel good in my process of getting ready for the new year. So if you haven't yet, take a moment to reflect and think of what's one thing that you're proud of this year. Take a moment to think of the things that you've done in your life and give yourself some grace, give yourself some recognition, give yourself some love. You've certainly earned it. You certainly deserve it. For me, I'm beyond proud that I have multiple books written, but that I'm finally publishing one of them. To me, that is a dream come true. It's what I want my career to be in the future, publishing like 30 books. I want to actually get 100. When you buy ISBN numbers, which are your way of selling books, you can buy multiple of them. I really want to buy the 100 one because I want to make it a goal to publish 100 books in my life, even though I know that's absolutely crazy. But it would make me happy, and I've already written like 4 or 5, 6 or 7. I don't know. It depends on what level of writing you consider being written, but we have outlined some, we have fully written some of them are through editing. So that would just make me beyond happy. I want to be prolific and just write books on all the subjects I like. I want to write children's books and business books and entrepreneurship books and lifestyle design books and poetry, all of romantasy maybe even. I'm not going to lie, I'm a really good romantasy reader. I just don't know if the world's ready for it yet. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. I would love to be the next J.K. Rowling though. I absolutely love her. Aside from all the political things, I don't need to get in that. I love her books. Her books are incredible. They make my heart happy, especially this time of year. This time of year is my favorite time to watch all the Harry Potter. And oh my gosh, did you know that they have a Harry Potter TV series that's coming out? I need to know more. If you haven't seen the Fantastic Beasts series, it is incredible. I love it so much. And I really want to see A Cursed Child on Broadway. I think that'd be really fun. I haven't seen that yet. Anyways, little Harry Potter nerd out moment. We needed it. When I was starting my business, I needed a place to create, a place that filled me from the inside out, somewhere that inspired me, helped me make content, a place where I could go to get good work done and host events, gather in community, celebrate one another, host family and friends for gatherings. So I created Flourish Co-working Space in Westchester, Pennsylvania. It's a space that nourishes you from the inside out. It's lush, inspiring environment with hundreds of plants to make you feel like your best self so that you can do your best work and gather in community in a way that's casual, inviting, and just incredible. I hope you check it out. If you need a co-working or event space in Westchester, PA, be sure to visit us and book your co-working or event today. Check us out through the link in the show notes. So let's talk about what went wrong this year. We're just going to glance over this because it's trauma bonding, and I have lots of trauma bonding with my sisters, so we don't need to trauma bond too much. So my sisters and I actually call each other all the time when we're on the phone just doing life together. I love it. And then we talk through all the things that we're going through in life. I'm so grateful for my babies, so grateful for my girls. Wow, I think the greatest challenge this year was definitely the cancer, the loss of family, and my accident. I have never had acne in my life, and with all of that, have had acne and everything just because I've had so much stress and have all of that coming to the surface with all of my hormones and everything. That's been really challenging. It's hard when you're going through something and then on top of it, it compounds with other things. You're just like, oh, can't I just get a break? And I think the same thing really happened with the accident. I'm in a tremendous amount of pain. I'm in a tremendous amount of pain right now. I'm having trouble with my concussion, vertigo, dizziness, loss of memory. I have all the spinal injuries. And on top of that, I'm losing muscle mass and gaining weight because I'm not able to be active. I mean, I was probably doing 4 hours minimum of activity a day before the accident. And at this point, it's like for months, I haven't been able to do anything. So that's been rough. And then also from a mental perspective, just not having your outlets for stress relief. I use active meditation through exercise, running, hiking, being outside, being with the animals, riding horses, working on projects, working on renovations, designing things, doing things, making things. Those are all my stress relievers. And I know that's not everybody's stress relievers. I know some people like to just veg out, but that's not really mine. And so, man, oh man, has it been very challenging mentally, going through anxiety, like pretty severe anxiety. I've been getting panic attacks, and I have a weird time saying depression, but I feel like I've gone through it. I don't know. I feel like depression, I know it's different than suicidal, but I feel like depression is like so serious and take away from what other people experience. But so it's been challenging. It's been very challenging going through all those different aspects of life. I really do try to see the silver lining in things and think of like why it's serving me. I also don't try to think too hard about why it's serving me because it's really hard to figure out why this and what this is doing to serve me. It is beyond hard to figure that out. If I had to name anything, I've had to hire a lot of help to help me. And getting better at delegating, getting better at team management, getting better at getting assistance. And maybe that's something that when I finally do recover, that I'll incorporate more in my businesses. It's definitely been very expensive to be able to hire the people that I need to replace me and to help with the farm and to help with the house and all that kind of stuff. So it's been very expensive, but I do think that that's a silver lining, is getting help with my businesses and hiring and having to hire, but hiring. And then the other good thing that I've found is I'm not allowed to ride. And I've literally been going bonkers for absolute months to not being able to work with horses, because my horses are my active meditation. They are my happy place. And so what I did was I have someone who I've hired to come and do everything, do all the hands manual labor, so that I can train them, and I'll like show him what to do and he does it, and I'll do the stuff that's not like anything basically more than just walking. So I do think that that's making me better of a horsewoman in a challenging way, in a way that I wouldn't have maybe done otherwise. And I do think that the horses are getting better from it too. I miss riding. I miss spending time being able to groom them, or being able to, pick up their feet or do all those things, or trot with them or anything. But, little by little, we're getting better. And I'm also super grateful for all of the people who have helped me through this: my family, my friends, my doctors, my PT. They've all been incredible. And I'm very grateful for their support, especially Mama Lou. She has been driving me everywhere, driving me to doctor's appointments, driving me to work, picking me up places if I'm too dizzy or whatnot. And my friends who have been super understanding when I've canceled all my obligations and not been able to hang, or been like, hey, can we hang just the three of us? Because I can't do anything more than that. So very grateful for all that. And I do think that that has been a silver lining, even though sometimes it's really hard to find the silver lining in bad times. I never stress if I can't. I never stress if I can't find like the good times and the bad, because I think sometimes we see those in the reflection in the mirror. Hindsight is 2020. So I do think we find those things over time, and we go through what we go through, and we get better. One of my favorite places on earth is Ethereal Farms in the rolling hills and draping forests of Chester County wine country. It's right next door to our sister farm, Wayvine Winery and Vineyard, so guests of our luxury accommodations can enjoy wine visits, enjoy live music and food trucks at the winery. Our luxury accommodations and tranquil landscapes provide the perfect escape from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. There's also access to over 1,000 acres of hiking. Enjoy serene walks among meadows, cozy nights by the fire making s'mores, and unforgettable moments with our friendly farm animals. Everything from horses to goats, mini donkeys, which are the absolute cutest, ducks, chickens, turkeys, we've got it all. So if you're looking for a getaway with your friends, family, significant other, be sure to check out Ethereal Farms. Follow us on social media at Ethereal Farms to get all the cute farm content, and be sure to book your stay so you can enjoy a little bit of the magic here in Chester County. So the next thing is gratitude. Gratitude has been something that I incorporate in reflection and moving forward. If you do the Wild Ambition Lifestyle Design 7-day extravaganza, we'll do some reflection, we'll do some gratitude, we'll do some intention setting. Gratitude is something that I find very important and a great part of setting intentions, because you kind of get grounded. So one easy exercise that you can do to incorporate gratitude in your life that I love to do is I journal. Well, on my agenda and everything, I write hearts around moments that I love in the day. And then if you want to do something right now, make it super easy. Look around you and find 5 things you're grateful for. Personally, I am grateful for a good fire. I'm surrounded by my books because I just recorded the episode on our winter book reading club. So I'm grateful for a good book, a little bit of escapism to help us get through the challenging times in life. I'm grateful for my animals. I'm grateful for my honey who's upstairs, and I'm beyond grateful for my farm and home. So list 5 things in your life that you're grateful for, just that you can see right now. Don't make it hard. I think it's finding the things that are easy to know you're grateful for. Don't work hard for gratitude. You don't have to work hard for gratitude. It's meant to be easy. Sometimes people are like, well, I don't want to repeat the same things every day. I am grateful for the same things every day because those are my core values. And those are the things that I want to spend time and energy on to be able to continue to invest in them because they invest in me. So I am all about gratitude and the goodness of it. Let me know what you think you've been reflecting on in my latest Instagram post. Let me know what your intentions are for next year as well. I know we all go through coping and coping mechanism. I've shared some with you. If you have any good ones, share them with me. I'm not gonna lie. My favorite coping mechanism are my animals, the outdoors, a good fire, and a good book. Those are the things that make me happy in life. Oh, and a good shower. Well, technically it would be a bath, but I basically take a shower by laying on the floor, and because I need better baths in my life. If I could invest in one thing, I mean, I have so many things to invest in and fix on this farm, but at some point I want a big bathtub because I freaking love a good bath. They make my heart happy. Imagine a bath by a fireplace with a good book with your animals curled in the corner. I'm not gonna lie, I think that you would be hard pressed to find anything better in life. So that's all that I have for you. I hope that you had an incredible year. I hope you enjoy reflecting. Be sure to share with me on Instagram at LauraMDFrancesco. What were your favorite parts of the year? What did you enjoy? What are you looking forward to? What are you grateful for? How are you coping? I'm here for you for all the things. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the We Grow Together podcast. I hope you have an amazing day. Cheers, Happy New Year, and good tidings for a good year.